Well, hello there people. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to take you along for a little preventative maintenance repair. And this is the parts that I'm going to replace as a part of my preventative maintenance plan for my W210 E50 Amg. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the gear selector module. It lives down underneath the gear shift lever or lever, and it is responsible for giving the correct signals to the transmission control unit of what gear it is in. What often happens is that people spill soda or water down here and you short circuit the whole thing and you can't drive the car. This, on the other hand, is in perfectly good working order. I don't have any issues or whatever, but as a part of my preventive maintenance plans, I want to replace it because I also want to lubricate the gear shift mechanism here. This is a two-part shifter in a way. The first steps here from park and down to drive is mechanical. From drive and down to first gear is electrical. So that explains why it is important to stay on top of the game here to prevent you being stranded on the road because of some electrical gremlin. Also, be very cautious of having drinks around here. Even though I have installed a cup holder there, it is a very scary place to have your drinks. But just pay attention to that when you have these, or if you own one of these cars. I guess most of you do know about the what can happen if you spill stuff down in the gear selector here. So let's go ahead and see what happens. This, by the way, is the parts number for this switch or this gear selector module. And you have some connectors up front there. And these are the shift bushings, so yeah, let's go ahead. So now you saw what screws to remove. It was a very simple job. It's just to remove the black surround around the shift lever here. Then you can pull up the whole switch panel, disconnect all the connectors. You have two screws holding the ashtray up front. You have two screws holding the center console. You remove the two screws down here. You also have like an interior part that covers the screws. Take these out, and what you also have to do, I'm not too sure if you really have to, but I just did it anyways, you have to remove this cover here. I do think you have to. I have this bird's eye maple cover, and you just stick your wedge on top there like that, and you can slide this out. And now my center console is loose. Take it out. So I forgot a screw in there. It's loose, but you know. And here you have some ducting. How you take this off is basically just to pull this part all the way back there, and you can disconnect it there, and then you just slide it out like that. They really thought about how they made this. Now you can see a bit clearer how it looks like. This shift module is fastened with two screws there, and I reckon a screw there and a screw down there, and it's a hex and it's a 5mm. So now it's just a matter of disconnecting these three connectors sitting on the gear shift module. There's two on the module that I'm replacing, and there's this one for the lock switch, so it's a solenoid sitting there. There you have the two connectors to the left there. and down there. So here you have the shift rod bushing, and what I did was just to take this and pull it backwards so this became visible through the hole. So what you do is put your screwdriver in there, so you kind of free it up. And I don't have a spare one, so I really don't want to lose it, so I maybe should have done this off camera, but it's quite easy. And you just slide it off. It's like, see it? We do like this, and there. I have my shifter loose, and what is often sticking on these is this outer part here. It looks pretty much lubricated. It isn't rusty by any means. Here you can see the shift module, and you can see it looks the same. I am back, and this was nerve-wracking, and I've never taken apart one of these before, so I have seen a couple of videos around online and stuff, and there's always a mention that you shouldn't take these apart because there are springs and everything says. I do see on like the design of it, it seems like it can be replaced without taking stuff apart. It really looks like you can take stuff apart just by putting it down like that. But this top portion here makes you not able to take it out because there's like ridges here that is put in from the bottom in a way. Use screwdrivers like in between here, and there's like catches on this side. There's also on this side here, and you will have to take off these two screws. There's a screw, and in front there's a screw, and they are attaching to the side here where you can see the two screws hole there and up front there. I fastened the whole thing with just in the vise here, so now I'm like really careful not moving anything. I'm just going to take off this top part here and replace it. When it comes to the poor shiftability, or like the gear shift rod in a way, everything seems very lubricated. There's no rust anywhere. I am done. That was super nerve-wracking, because what happens when you separate this top part from the lower part is that this axle that goes through here kind of doesn't have anywhere to go in a way. So what happened was that this plastic here fell down and this part popped out. So it was a bit fiddly. I didn't dare do too much. I was just kind of happy to get that back into its seating position. If you're doing this and replacing this selector switch, do take your time. Set it up like I have here. At least that makes the whole assembly sit still while you are separating this top part here from the lower part. It wasn't like difficult, so to speak, but stuff started to fall apart when I removed this top part. I was like thinking, is there any one of these for sale that I can have as a backup if in case it just like springs fly all over the place. Also, what you need to pay attention to is this white part. This is like, you can move it like that, and you just want to make sure that when you take this off like that, that this is sitting in the same place as the one you're taking off, because there's a pin going inside there. So just pay attention to that. I have already tried it out in the car just to make sure that it recognizes every gear, and it does. So far so good. The thing I wanted to show now is what I decided to do on the underside here. I have just put a lot of grease in here. I'm going to clean it up a bit, obviously, but everything of the mechanism that is exposed is the place you want to lubricate. This shifter does move freely in every position, so to speak, so I do not have any good reason to take stuff apart, and this outer part here is what often sees up and makes it sticky. Hopefully you got to see some of the insides of this mechanism so you can see how it looks like. Anyways, let's go ahead and mount it in the car. Also, I have to mention, I did replace this shift bushing on this Selector fork arm here, and as you can see, it does have quite a few cracks in it. It wasn't loose or anything, but definitely worth replacing while you're in here. The parts number, I'm not sure if I have for you, 202-992-0010. That's the one on the gear selector fork here. This one, 210-99-20010, that is on the other end of the shift rod. But pretty easy to get this in while you are having this out. I just set this bottom one on the side and pushed it through, and I also have some silicone grease put onto this so it will slide easy. So let's get it on the car and hopefully it will be smooth. Yep. Well, hello there people, welcome back to this video where I took you along for the replacement of the gear shift module and the lubrication session on the gear shifter mechanism. So basically what I wanted to say here in this last part of this video is basically just that it worked perfectly actually. The shifter feels a lot more smooth. Obviously replacing the module doesn't make any difference to the whole thing. It's just a matter of staying on top of the game and making sure that I don't have any electrical parts failing, even though these shifter modules mainly fail because of people spilling their drinks down in the shifting or the gear shift mechanism here and onto or into the module, shorting it out and making the car not drivable. That was basically all I wanted to tell you people. I'm out test driving the car now and it just works fantastically, and I just want to say thank you very much for watching this video and my videos in general. I really hope that you can find it useful. So yeah, I'm not gonna drag it out. See you guys later. Bye bye bye. See ya.